Okay, so today I'm teaching you how to pretty much construct frequency distributions alongside histograms and polygons when you have given data. So now you have long data, a lot of data. Trying to do it by hand might be an issue, even though sometimes you have to input the data in yourself. It'd be quicker just to put data into technology and have the technology do the work for us, rather than us trying to figure out a big list ourselves. So I'm teaching you how to do that with this one short data out here. And then what we're going to do from here is after that, we're going to actually look at a table that we construct and see if we can make the same histograms. And then from there, a polygon that corresponds with it. So let's just go ahead and start with this, and we're going to be pretty much using the technology that's going to be pretty much the TI nspire CX. So let's just go ahead and get to it. I'll put it somewhere, which is where. So I find it, there's over here, there it is. So, new project for the branding scheme right here. I try to avoid as much as possible, but I know it's going to be there. So, first thing first, we're going to learn how to put the data in right away, and then find maximums by hand. I also do the data because sometimes it's a bit hard to see by hand, because I find a needle in a haystack. But first thing first is good. Well, the type of verbs we're going to be dealing with here, or the type of data set we're looking at, is pretty much the driving time to work of employees at 15 minutes. So pretty much we have pretty much a total of 20 because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So we're looking at 20 data. It's not that big, not that long compared to 50 or 100. That's a lot. So first and first, let's look at here and see what we have that idea about the max and min. So we definitely see here. Here's one max. We have my min. The smallest value that's there, and over here we have the max, the larger value that's there. Once again, sometimes it'll be hard to see by hand, but let's just actually try to see. Okay, if I can do it by hand and have a list like this, can I figure out the technology? And that's yes. So first thing we do, we're going to go ahead and open the nspire. So our idea here is I just turned on, and I just went to the home page where let's press it on. And right now I'm on current because I have current information that's already here. But we're going to be messing around with everything. So I'm just going back to home, and I'm just going to go to the document. So you can choose to save what you want by just press the save and just give you the document name. I did a few already, but I want to say this one because I'll just play around with this one, trying to figure it out. So I'm just going to go to cancel. So you can use the pen to move around or do the clicker down to it and have it highlighted. Okay. So now new. So first thing I'm gonna do here is this is recent, no recent, no current, blah blah blah. I'm over here and I'm gonna go to and I'm gonna open calculate. So let's say calculate. So now it's open. Oh wait, or just was deleted. So let me just go. Oh, I put cancel, didn't I? So if I go over here. Let me go to new document again. No, I don't want to save document. That's what's supposed to be done. So I just supposed to delete. My bad. So what this usually happens when you delete start a new document and you have to choose what you want to do. So first thing I'm gonna do is I want to choose the calculator because I'm gonna use the calculator. That's usually the first one I always choose. Calculator for 1.1. Okay. And then next I'm gonna go here and open up a new page. So it's right here under document or docs. So I'm going to pretty much open a new page using shift or a control and page. And now I'm going to open up a list and spreadsheet. So one thing we're going to catch on to here is notice how unlike TI-84 or a Casio or most of the calculators, they usually up here they have a label called L1, L2, L3, and L4 all the way down. But we don't have that. We have A, B, C, D, E. Well, these are not even labels. They're not. So literally what we have to do is before we even do any type of statistical analysis or descriptions, we have to actually change that. Oops, sorry, it's going to write it up. I have to change that A part. That's kind of the way of doing it. I have to change this pretty much A part is right here. Okay. and make it into a label. So I'm just making out one for sure, but you can make it if you want. Don't make it big, because if you're going to try to copy or do operations on this is going to be a problem. So the smaller the better, and then after you have everything done, you can always relabel. So from over here, I'm going to pretty much put owl. So owl's right here, the letters are in the bottom. So I'm going to just put owl and 2. And so notice how I was showing right there, owl 2, where A is at. I'm going to enter it. And literally on top, you see owl 2 now as a label instead of A. So owl 2 now has been labeled. So when I do any type of graphing or analysis, wherever it's in that list will be a part of it. So let's just go ahead and start inputting the data we have over here. So we have pause for data. You could sometimes choose go horizontal, or vertical, or horizontal, depending on how bad this is. This is pretty much equally dimensioned, so it's not too confusing going either way. But if this goes way over here, you might want to choose to go vertical because it's less confusing and it's better to keep track, easier to keep track of those rather than the wrong way. But that's your choice of how you want to do things. I'm just going to go horizontal for this time around. So therefore, I'm going to be putting in pretty much 32. Oop, messed up under. Notice how you can't have that. Sorry, you can't see it. Make sure that this is not happening. So I'm going to delete real quick. And I don't want this to happen here, non-expressions. It's supposed to be down here in the actual data lake. Where what is that? That's what I'm going to do. The equal is expression. We're going to see that pretty soon. Operations on list. But let's go and put 32 here. So 32. And you either press down or enter if both works. So I'm going to 22 and just press enter so it's closer to the buttons. 11 and you just do the rest. 47, 20, 27, 40, 65, 18, 25, 35, 54, 21, 30, 43, 84, 20, 25, 38, 58. Okay. You know how the blue is highlighted right there? That means that that would be the 21st item. But notice how 58 is on, it says 20, so it's matching to what our count is. So if it's not matching a count, you must have missed one or something like that. Inserting, I haven't, I don't know how to insert, but I don't know how to delete. Using this kind of technology, because it appears, it always appears to delete the cell. It just clears the cell when I think it should be deleting. But anyways, come over here. Let's just double check to see, because there's something called data entry error that you want to avoid. We want to make sure we have good information. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure it goes to the top and just make sure everything's good all the way down. Oops, that's not supposed to be happening. Oh, check that out. That was not supposed to be happening. So it'll be 658. Sure. So let's do it again. So let's go to the very top. So now I'm going to just make sure it's good. There are 2, 11, 40, 20. Those are the first 4. 5, that's good. Next 5, 27, 40, 65, 80, 18, 25. That 5 is good. 35, 54, 21, 30, 40. Those guys are good. And the last 5, 84, 20, 25, 38, 58. Those guys are good. So everything's good. So I got no data error. That's great. That's good to know. Now I can go ahead and get started with the rest. So you might be asking, okay, how to find a min and max? Well, I'm not going to do it here and just, I think I'm going to make it bright. I do apologize. I'm not going to do it here in this region here. I'm not. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and go to the 1.1. So I could go back to my calculator. That's why I have it here to make these easy for me. So you just move the mouse, the cursor over to it, and you see the hat on it, meaning that's what I'm going to click, and there we go. Now I'm back up here. So how to find min, max, and all that good stuff? Well, there's 2 ways of doing it. One one way is going to be a shortcut to find all, pretty much almost everything, and that's pretty much, in this case, we're doing under statistics. On the list is going to be under data, but we'll see that when it happens. So I can press statistics, and either you can press right or hit 6. I typically just do enter. I just like highlighting my stuff. And what we can see here is we have statistics calculations. So we get this one first right now, and what we have here is the same one variable stat statistic to a variable. Well, we should note that we would have one variable, which is just time. So I'm not comparing anything, only have one variable, so I'm gonna hit one variable statistics. And here's this number of lists, well, just one. I'm not trying to do multiple lists, but if you have multiple lists, you can do multiple lists. It's really your choice. So I'm gonna hit this one, and this goes to be the number of lists, so that could be the list name. Keep that in mind. So enter, and here I ask, okay, which X list are you looking for? Well, the X list that we hit, I labeled 1. So that's why it's reported that you have short labels. If you have long labels, it's going to be a hectic for you. So I put R1 here because I labeled it R1. Frequency I'm going to keep as 1 because I don't have any frequency. I don't have no type of frequency distribution. There's no table, it's just data. So I'm going to leave that as 1. I don't have a category list, so therefore I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to include any categories because we ain't got no categories. I'm not trying to section them out in any ways. Yes, when you have multiple categories and you have a list of information, maybe for a survey, you could fiddle around with that. But I'm not going to do that at this time. So now let's go ahead and enter. And it says domain error. Okay. I wonder why. Let me go back to my list real quick. Because it's supposed to have worked. Make sure it's out 1. Oh, I put out 2. Smart guy. Yeah, I had out 2 up there. So now out 1 is correct. Once you call upon the right labeling too, don't be like me. So I'm gonna do it again. Menu, statistics. I'm gonna choose the statistics calculator. 1 bar, 1 this. I could have enter. Now I'm going to do out 1, and now it's going to work. Last time it was out 2, and I didn't realize that I had the wrong label. Enter. Now look at everything's. Oh, I hate when it flashes like that. It's just too sensitive for some reason. I don't know why it's so sensitive. Okay. I'm trying not to make it too dark because you won't be able to see the screen. You will see something. Okay. Not too. No. Okay, that's better. So hope that's not too dark for you guys. I was trying to prevent the darkness. Well, that doesn't sound right, but prevent it from being too dark for you to see on the screen. But everything should be good right now. So now that we here, we have a lot of information, which would be great in the future. So what we're caring about now is pretty much, hey, here's min x. Min means the minimum of the variable we're looking at, and it's 11. It's the same thing. Nice. Over here, max x says 84. Nice. Oh, look at that. This would be a nice thing to have later on because this is actually doing what is referred to as, for standard deviation. But we'll see that your calculator is actually very nice when it comes up to that. And over here, if you want to hit up or down, you can hit the arrow that's right here, make sure you have the bar, and you can hit down, but it's over here. Actually, you can hit right there, and it just drops up to the top. And you have all the other information that's gonna be nice right here. Kind of other good information that's right here. That's gonna be nice. So that's good for now. So that's how you do stats. I mean, figure that out. There's ultimatum. So say that you don't want to spend all this time, all this information out once as one specific things. There's a way to do that. And it's under menu as well, in the calculated portion. It's under menu, and we're still going to the same thing, which is statistics. Or corrected permit is under statistics. I'm going to choose, by sending stats calculator, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose list math, because we're looking at lists. And I'm going to enter right there. Oh, enter. And now if we look at the very two options, we see max and min. So I could actually hit enter and get the min, and it's to say, well, min of what? Min of list? Well, list 1. So I'll put list 1 there, list 1. Notice how I get the same answer. Nice. Now I can do the same thing and go for the max. So on the list max again. Now I'm gonna enter and go for the max. And do the same thing, list 1. And enter. I get the 84 again. So here's they give a big long list. That was right here. I'm going for specific ones. So it's all tomato. Okay, next. So now we have the minimax. Now we know how to find it. Your calculator. So now we're guaranteed. So that's how we build it. So we'll go back over here to this graph. I would say, okay, how do I even build a table? How do you build a table in the first place? Well, what the book says is if they're asking for a class and they're not being specific to where to start and where to what they want the class to be, then you have to find it yourself. And our job is to find there's two set processes that you learn from reading the book, and pretty much they're doing something that they tell you that when you actually do the work, you're gonna find the one that is convenient to our data. That's what it says. Find the one that's convenient to ours. So right here, I chose convenient ones. Okay, it could have been different ones, but I chose this one. I was going for a certain amount of classes. I was literally going for 5 classes, and this is what made it. But don't mind that. So I chose convenient number of 10 because the number has to be equal to the minimum or a convenient one below the minimum. It shouldn't be above because the first interval has to contain the minimum, while the last interval has to contain the max, no matter what. So if you're making conveniency based on classes that they want, you might have to readjust these guys to ensure that the min is in the first interval while the max is in the last interval. That's pretty much what we're doing here, what we're really doing normally. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start here. So since my first lower limit is 10, I'm gonna put 10 here. And pretty much what's the process that we naturally would do to find upper limit? Well, or the next limits? Well, we look at the 15. I didn't use class width, so that means that there should be a jump of 15 between each lower limit, which we're going to refer to as the real limit, because they really are the real limits of each interval. So we here at 15, it becomes 25. If we add 15 again, consistently, add 15 again, this will become 40. And the process repeats. So, I'm thinking, okay, that's might be a little tedious, especially if it's decimals or have big numbers. That could be a little tedious. So how can I do this with my calculator to make it at ease? Well, I'm gonna do the same idea. So I know the first lower limit is 10, so I'm gonna type in 10. And I'm gonna add 15. So what I'm doing by hand, I'm just having a calculator do. And then I could do plus 15 again, plus 15. And notice how answer comes up, saying that, oh, I guess you didn't tell me what number you want to add from, or add to, so I'm gonna let it be the previous answer. So the calculator pretty much does that with the patterns. I can enter it. When you think of this, if I'm doing the same operation over and over again, I'm not changing the operation, I'm gonna consistently repeat it. All you gotta do is just keep pressing enter, 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 and it will just keep repeating what the pattern was. So over here, yours, I just say answer. Usually, other calculators you just say answer, so it's going for the previous answer. But we can clearly see here how it was going for the previous answer. 25 came down here, 40 came down here, 55 came down here. So they're getting for the previous answer. So now I'm getting the next ones here without having to do it by hand or anything like that. So I've definitely seen that the next one's supposed to be 55, followed by 70, and the next possible one is 85. Okay. So right here we're going to go for this. We're going to see something very interesting because remember the rule says that the minimum should be in the first interval, which it is going to be, and the last one's going to be in the last interval. And right now we're going to see why. So over here, I'm gonna put R in blue. I'm gonna put R out, which stands for lower limits. And I use lower limits a lot, very frequent, because it has a lot of reasoning to them. So right here, R out pretty much means real limits. Whenever I refer to real limits and I write that, understand R out is real limits. And further down the line, you'll be seeing boundary points. I promise we'll be writing BP. So when I write BP, I mean boundary points. Okay, notice how long it takes to write and I don't have that much space. But over here, the real limits. Well, the real limits are literally from lower to lower limit, because those are the real limits. And we'll see why very shortly. So 10 to 15, 25, 25 to 40, 40 to 55, 55 to 70, 70 to 85. Okay, so these are the real limits. What we're saying here is, let's 70 is the lowest value that could go into this interval. However, I'm gonna go to all values that are close to 5, but not equal to 5. Okay, so I can get numbers like 80, 84.2, 84.8, 84.9, 84.95. But they're all less than 85, so they all belong to this interval, and I can't go into the next one. So what we realize is that, and this is what people get a little confused on, is that when we do upper limits, we always go one less than the real limit. That's all we're doing. So if it's a real limit, I'm gonna go one less to write the upper limit. And we're gonna find out that this is just a number that resembles upper limit. It is not the real upper limit. The real upper limit is 85. Because we can get very close to this guy, but it cannot equal or pass it. Okay, that's when the next interval should start. And we're seeing the same thing everywhere else. I go one less than the 70, which makes it to 54. Oh, wrong one. I did it to 5. 69. This one is 54. Followed by 39. Followed by 24. So that's how we pretty much find the upper limits for each one. That's one less than the lower limit, than the lower limits. But understand if there's decimals, things will change. So let's just say we had something like 7.0 to 8.5. The real limit that will correspond to this guy is actually 8.4. We keep consistent to the decimal we're looking at, and the decimal place we're at, or the units for the smallest one, or the furthest decimal. Anyways, how's happening there? So we got that out the way. So next we'll talk about boundary points, because some of us teach boundary points, and I know our book does. So what are boundary points? Well, boundary points are just they're just, once again, numbers that represent a boundary, but they're not the real boundaries. They're not the real limits. The real limits, these are the true boundaries, the true ones. Or just our book is going halfway between each upper lower limit and determining their boundary point. That's all they're doing. So it's very different than what others will do. So if I'm going halfway between 24 and 25, we find out that it's going to be 24.5. I'm just going to mid-distance. Over here, 17, mid-distance between 39 and 40 is 39.5. And I continue the same process. And hopefully we can see a pattern here. We can definitely see that, hey, it turns out that if I go halfway below 55, I'll get to 54.5. And if I go halfway above 54, I also end with 54.5. So that's pretty much is the boundary point. So here's 54.5. And this will be helpful, especially if we're going to use this, and then you go, oh, I'm just decreasing by 0.5, then you could just find a pattern and you could put it into your list, and it will give you the actual outcomes. Over here, it's 69.5. I need to show you one of my videos. You won't see this video, but you see the one we're going to do. Oh, we're going to do the polygons, and it'll be very short. Or 2 minute frequencies. Over here at 84.5. Bam. But wait, we're not done here, because what we just noticed is I just found the bounding points for this limit, okay, which is going to be replacing these two guys. You know how this happens between these guys, this happens between these two guys. So we know the bounding point for this one it's going to be the 69.5 to the 84.5. But wait, we don't really know what the bounding point for this one is. We found one of them, we found a 25.1. We know that the bounding point for 25 corresponds to 24.5. So how to find the 10? Well, all I'm doing here is going 1 at 0.5 less. I'm just following the same pattern. So it's going to become 9.5. Why? Because there's a 9 here. And the distance between 9 and 10 is 9.5. That's the reason why. So now we know that the bounding point that corresponds to this limit here is going to be 9.5. That's what's happening there. So over here you might be, if you hand your book to your teacher, you might be either doing the real limit or you might be doing the bounding point when it comes down to the x values down here. And we'll see that. But anyways, let's just go ahead and say, okay, now we have that situated. Well, I still can't figure out the frequencies. I may have too many data, so you could do it by hand. This one here is not the bad to do it by hand. We could find out which goes in each interval. But the experiment we permit set up very easy itself. Okay. And so what we're gonna do here is, I'm gonna quickly, so pretty much we're gonna find out that when you're making any type of bar graph / histograms, you could do it through your list. So if you come over to your list and do it, it will do it. But one here, since there's only one data, and you do a new page, you could typically just do one data and it's gonna make a histogram. Or it's make a dot plot right away. But if you're trying to do two data and you're doing different distribution, you have to make sure that you know which one you're finding and how to get there. So now when we do a polygon, it's going to be different than what we're going to do the first 2 times. So come over here, what I could do is, I could just go ahead and hit menu, and I can go to data, and do summary. I'm going to go to summary plot, and I'm going to enter this. And what it says here, so what do you want the list to be? Well, for this one here, notice I only have one list, right? So this one here might not be good because it required 2. So I'm going to avoid this one for right now because that's not what I want. So I'm going to escape and say, nope, that's not what I want. So there's an alternate way of doing it, and that is coming over here and we're going to, instead of hitting menu, I'm going to go for the page that's right here. It's a page where our doc is, but it requires to control page. So it's going to make a new page. And what we're going to do here is, I'm going to make a data, we're going to add a data statistics page. And I'm going to enter that. So notice how we got dots, we got plots in here. But we don't, there's points, they don't know what to plot them. It's like, I don't know what you're trying to plot here, how you're trying to plot it. So it's kind of pretty much random that they're doing. So what we do here is, notice at the very bottom, we have click to add a variable. I'm going to go right there, I'm going to bring it down, and I'm going to click to add a variable. And the variable I'm looking for here is 1, because remember, all 2 doesn't exist. I accidentally had it there, but it's not there. That was the variable that they created, at least I created. So I'm going to click on 1. And notice how it quickly makes a somewhat of a box plot or a dot plot, but it's not too good because these guys are a little too cramped, so it's not really being nice in terms of the plotting. So, but it gives us a good idea what the plot should look like, and we just have to adjust it ourselves. So that's why I'd be great if I could control the scaling on this calculator, but sadly I realized that I can't, not this time until I learn how to adjust the scaling. But this is not what I want. I don't want a dot plot. That's not what I want. So I'm going to hit menu. And we have here plot type and plot properties. We're going to go to plot type right now. And I'm going to enter. And I'm going to choose the plot I want. So when actually we're in when we're doing data like this, there's it naturally gives us good options. So the one we're going for is the histogram. Okay, so I'm gonna definitely hit 3 and enter it, and notice how it makes a quick histogram. But it's not the one we're looking for here, because if you were to actually do a trace, and I'll show you how to do a trace. And it's pretty simple for here, because all you have to do is actually go to the graph and it pretty much traces by itself pretty easily. So that's one way of doing it. Or you could go to menu, okay, and we could go to pretty much, it's supposed to be a plots and properties. Actually, it's not. Let's go to type. It's a plot types. So if I go plot types, and oh my god, I hate when I do that. That's why I always enter, because my finger doesn't do the right thing. And it's not showing up here, right here, it will be showing, do you want a graph? So it might be in the wrong region, so let me just escape real quick. And let me just see where can I, oh, there it is, it's under analyze. So we have an option right here at the very bottom that says graph trace. So I can go to graph trace, so it's under analyze. I can go to graph trace and enter, and it does the same thing. But now I could, instead of moving the mouse around, I could just go right left. So it's more quicker to get to things than trying to do the mouse around. But once again, this calculator made its own guesstimated class widths, but we can clearly see that it's not matching ours. Why? Because over here is saying that the lower limit is supposed to be 11, but I thought my first class's lower limit was supposed to be 10. And in addition to it, it's saying that the real upper limit is supposed to be 16. Why am I saying it's the real upper limit? Because it has parentheses right there. That's why. So this one here, looking at technologies, does upper limit to does real limits, lower limit to real upper limit. It doesn't do lower limit to upper limit because it's faulty number like I told you guys before. It's faulty. It's the real ones that matter. So come over here. So is it bad? So how can I adjust it? That's the thing. How can I adjust it so it can match what we have on the table? Well, that's where I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go back to menu. Okay, and this is where I'm going to go to plot property. So I'm going to go to plot property. I'm going to enter it, and right here we have histogram properties where it quickly goes to. So that's good. Let's go to quick case histogram properties, and I'm going to go ahead and enter my bin. So I'm not doing histogram scales. This is going to be in the future because this one option only happens when there's data. Because when you enter this, it says, oh, you want to graph the histogram using frequencies, percentages, or density, and you're going to find out that density is proportion. It's equal to proportion in our calculator. But we're not going to have that full control in the future. But this happens when you have actual data. So having actual data is more efficient and more free for us to adjust. But right here, I'm going to escape and go back, or just quickly press back this side and you can do the same thing. I'm going to go to bin settings. That's what I'm going to do. What is a bin? A bin is pretty much information about the first lower limit and the class width. That's what it is. That's what bin is. So I'm going to enter it, and I want it to be equal, of course. And say, okay, what the width supposed to be? Well, it's not supposed to be 5, it's supposed to be 15. So I'm going to type in 15 right there, bam. And then I'm going to go down, press down, and the starting is not supposed to be 6, it's supposed to be, for us, it's supposed to be 10. So I'll put 10. And now I'm going to highlight enter, or equals, I'm going to highlight OK, and enter it. So now, when I do my trace, or if I let's quickly put a mouse, of course I didn't say a hand, you can quickly see the trace, and it says, now it's making sense because it's saying that the real lower limit is supposed to be 10, we're seeing right here, real lower is 10, while the real upper limit is 25, and that's matching what we have. So now this is a good graph. And when you see the P points, when it says points right there, that is actually the frequency in our graph, in ours. So it's frequency, but the shape is bad. I don't like the shape. The shape is not helpful because I can't see the top of it, and the scaling is going to be difficult for me to convert over to the graph over in the grid over there, or to even make sure it matches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the properties. So I'm gonna go to menu, I'm gonna go back to properties, oh no, or like, I'm gonna go to window or zoom. Okay. I'm gonna go to this one and I'm gonna enter, and I'm gonna choose window, because I'm gonna control the scales, try to control it as much as possible. So over here, it says minimum gonna be 7.5. I like to go. I like to go to out because I want to see what the graphic is going to look with some space between. Because when I do polygons, I'm going to have to kind of mix match in there. So right here, usually you can go one less than what's over here. It's your choice. But I usually just go and look over here and say, let me just go one less, or I do 0. So it's right in the x-axis. So over here, I just do one less. So over here, we say minus 15. So after minus 15, this ends up becoming -5. Here, let me just go one more. One class with more. So assuming that if it was out there, what would it have been? That's all I'm saying here. So plus 15 here, and I'll end up getting 100. Okay? So we could pretty much do that. And therefore, I'm putting here -5. Negative is this button right here. So what we're saying here is, if I'm trying to have 5 become -5. That's what we're trying to do, because you calculate this 5 plus positive 5s. So what we have to do is, in reality, if you actually multiply -1 to 5, it equals -5. So what we're doing is we're pressing a button that corresponds to -1, which is just negative, because we should know that a multiplication of 1 is just itself. So we just go for the negative side. So there it is, negative, and I'll put 5 right there. And over here, it's equal to 100. Just to keep consistent with the widths. I'm not trying to just do widths. But over here, we have the Y max. Well, over here, sometimes we might not know what the frequency is, but if you actually go across it, you know what it is. And it's going to be 7. So sometimes we can always rescale it every single time until you find a good one. But for here, I'm going to put 10. Okay? I already know it's going to be 7. So I'm going to enter it. And now we have a real good, decent graph here. Okay? So, but here, this is one thing I really don't like, is how they do the scaling here. It's not really my cup of tea, but it still does work. You just gotta know how to scale it appropriately based off what's here. Okay, if you want to keep consistent. I usually try to get it to be my own scales by 2. I want to do 10 by 2, and I like for my graph to do it. But over here, it doesn't give me an option to scale, which is pretty sad. I will try to find out how to do that in the future, but we're now can. So we're going to try to keep consistent to what's right there in that grid. Oh, but one thing here is, let's get the frequencies out. So once again, if we want to go move to the side to make this easier for us, all we're going to do is go to Analyze and select Graph Trace on the very bottom, which is A, apparently. Just press A and do Graph Trace. Graph Trace, and now I could move right and left instead of having to move the mouse around or the cursor around. So the first class is supposed to have 6, the second class is supposed to have 7, third class 4, fourth class 2, and last class 1. So those are the corresponding frequencies that we're going to put in here for the class. And that's what we'll do right now, or just over there, can't get to it. But I'll put it in green. So we're looking at pretty much 6, 7, 4, 2, 1. So we have those in here. Now we can go ahead and come over here and do the graph. But notice over here how the frequencies are the Y values, and there should always be the Y values. While the X values here are usually come from our list, which are permanent, usually our measurements. Because right now, later on, we might have X and Y's. We're going to see that based off this, but this is our data. So anything that's to do with measurements, any type of measurements, is one variable, it's going to be X. So what we're definitely saying here is, on the X-axis, we're going to have the dragon time. And this is going to be in minutes. Got that there. And once again, remember this is your x-axis. While at the same time, we're showing that the frequency, and I used to write FU of R EQ for short, and that's our Y. So now we can go ahead and get the grid in here. So it says our book, we're not doing the row limits that will just be done here. The book is doing boundary points, so we're going to keep to the boundary point that your book is doing. And I'm going to start the first boundary point and work our way back, work our way down from there. So probably we put 9.5 right here. Over here we can put our 24.5. Over here we can put our 39.5. Once again, the part for the right leg is going to be right here. Over here is going to be the 54.5. Over here is going to be the 69.5. And lastly, the 84.5. We got that going. And next, I'm going to go ahead and do this consistent with what they're doing here. It's not really the best one, but I'm going to go with it to keep it consistent. So your calculator is basically going based off threes. So I do that, but it's always good to do the more convenient one, scaling. So 3 here, 6, 9, therefore this one should be 12, 15, and on. So our graph is going to be stuck in this region compared to all this extra space that we could have used. But hey, that's what's happening here. So we definitely see here that the graph is divided into into 3 evenly spaced by two sub hinges, and we could do the same thing to make sure we keep consistent. And now we can do our graph. So come over here. Well, it says that the first one is supposed to be 6, and we definitely see 6 right here in the grid line that we have here. So therefore, I could grab that portion. So here we go. And I'm gonna finish the rectangle. Next, we have our 7. And notice how it's been 6, and it's 7, 8, 9. So usually we could do halfways. I used to do halfways to make it quick, and I do guesstimations. Over here, I'm keeping consistent with what's happening over there. So I'm gonna put 7 right here where it belongs, and I'm gonna connect the box or the rectangles. Next one's supposed to be 4. Well, 4 is not here either, but I do know that this is a 3, and it goes 4, 5, 6, so 4 has to be this line right here. So therefore, I'll put 4 where it belongs, and I'll grab it. Next, we have our 2. Same thing, 2 is not here, but I know is the first number here is 0, and it goes 1 to 2. So therefore 2 should be in this region. And then 1 is the first hinge that's down the grid line, and it's pretty much right here. So over here, it was pretty much a wasted space in this region right here. But I'm just going based off what the graph is doing, and I would have rather have done it by 10 using evens, but I'm just keeping consistent with what the graph is doing up top. But anyways, so we got this in here, so we know over here this is 6, this is 7, because sometimes this might be kind of hard for people to read, so it will be good for us to just label. Okay, oops, 6, how funny. It's supposed to be a 2 and a 1. So sometimes you might, might be a little too far. It's really a 1 or a 2, I don't know. But now they could definitely see it. Next is we can pretty much, now we get that out the way. Let's see, okay, whoa, if that's the case, okay, and now I have my frequency and also my histogram, and I also have my frequency distribution table without this extra information. Is this what it is, the intervals? That's what we'll see in the future. If I have these intervals, or my distribution tables, can I still graph this histogram and get the same result? And the answer is yes, we definitely can. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna treat it as if, here's my interval right here, and here's my frequencies, and that's all I know. I don't know anything else. So what we do here is we get the list of all the lower limits. You can remember the bin that we made here, aka the histogram with the binning. It relies on the lower limit. It relies on it. So we need to know our lower limit, but that's not the only thing we need. We also need to know our interval size. Okay, or class interval, or class width, actually. Interval size goes to different texts. So we have to definitely figure that out as well. But that's not that bad, because one thing we definitely know here is that interval size, or in this case, class width, is pretty much found by doing the difference of the consecutive run limits, or the run limits of the interval. That's what we're looking at. So it's pretty much the difference of the interval's run limit. I know some books might refer to it as being, instead of doing that, it says the consecutive lower limits. Consecutive lower limits. Okay? Which is still the real limits, but then funniest thing is, here we consecutive lower limits, it happens to be the real limits either way. So, either way it goes, so all I'm saying here is get the larger of the two. In the case, I'm just looking at the first one. So it's just 24 minus 10. Oh, wrong one. 25 minus 10. I went for the upper limit when it was wrong. Look at the real upper limit, which is 25 minus the 10, and that gives me 15 back. So voila, we're good. So don't make the error of subtracting the interval upper limit from the and lower limit. It's the real limits. Lower limit and lower limit. Okay, and get 15. So we can definitely get the same thing happen. So let's go ahead and I'll put the list in here. So what I'm going to do is, I should have noted it earlier, but what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to let the lower limits that I'm going to circle, I get some black, I haven't used black yet. I'm going to get these lower limits right here, on the ones that are in the interval, and I'm going to have that be list 2 this time. So I'm going to